What's up YouTube, NCG here, bringing you a Darkest Diabolos pure deck build. So this is without any of the additional engines that you can play this with, stuff like Infernoids, DDDs, Dinos if you want to. The deck can actually operate quite versatile and work with a lot of other decks, but this is as pure as can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the deck, show you what we've got, and explain why we've got it. So let's zoom in on our very, very nice custom map from Inked Gaming and show you what we have. So we start off with Triple Darkest Diabolos. This is the brand new card that came out in a structure deck. Your opponent can't tribute this card, so it's unkaigeable, and it can't be targeted with card effects. And then once per turn, if a dark monster you control is tributed, except during a damage state, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, if it was there when the card was tributed, or from your hand. It works like Astroglass Sorcerer, so if you do search it off of this guy here, using its effect, you can then special summon it straight off, because it kind of resolves on a second chain, which is very, very good. You contribute one dark monster, your opponent places one card from their hand on either the top or bottom of the deck. So what you've got to remember about Diabolos is, obviously the whole idea of the field spell is it turns all your opponent's dark monsters and you can start tributing them off. Even if you tribute off one of your opponent's monsters, you can't special summon this because you technically don't control it. But you can tribute off one of your opponent's monsters for its second effect. So not only do you clear a monster off their board, you then get your opponent to shuffle a card back to the top or bottom of their deck. We then play Triple Harima. This is obviously one of your ways to search off the Lair of Darkness just by discarding it. But also on the field, you tribute one dark monster and you get to draw one card. So you can tribute off your opponent's card if you've got the field in play and just start drawing. Its other effect is, if you tribute a dark monster other than this card, to activate this effect, you can add one dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand instead. So the whole idea is, instead of tributing himself or another token on your opponent's side, you tribute another one of your monsters, search out your Diabolos, and then special summon your Diabolos from hand. So that's kind of the loop and the way that card works. We then play Triple Lilith, Lady of the Lament. Again, really, really cool card. So you tribute summon this to search out your virus, and then of course if you've got a Diabolos in grave or hand, you get to special summon that. So you tribute one dark monster. Again, you can tribute your opponent's monsters with the field in play. Reveal 3 normal trap cards from your deck. So it doesn't have to be virus cards, they just have to be normal trap cards. So you can search everything from Eradicate a Virus all the way down to Magic Cylinders, which is really, really cool. You choose reveal 3 normal trap cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one of them, randomly, for you to set to the field and shuffle the rest back into your deck. So this skips Ash because it sets to the field, doesn't add to hand. Always got to remember that. We then play 2 Duke Shade, the Sinister Shadow Lord, because you can tribute one of your opponent's monsters. It must only be one. It's all you can do if you've got the field in play to special summon them. You can tribute off more darks if you want to, but you know, ideally you just want to tribute off your opponent's one. And then it gains 500 attack for each monster you tributed. If this card is normal or special summoned, you target a level 5 or higher dark monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Duke Shadow once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn after you activate this effect, except dark monsters. Don't worry, the majority of your monsters are dark. We then play 2 Dark Grepher. Now this is kind of this is an alternative to Armageddon Knight. The reason this is an alternative to Armageddon Knight is because you can special summon it, so you can clear out any dead Diaboloses in hand. The only issue is that it does require you to send a level 5 or higher, so you can only send your Diabolos to special summon it. And then once per turn you get to discard a dark monster and send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. So there's a lot of work going on. So if you wanted to, you could take this down to 1 and put in your Lord. Ideally what you want is you just want the ability to get a dark monster special summoned onto the board to then extend your plays further. And there's a nice little combo with Dark Grepher. If you can get Dark Grepher on the board and your Harima without the field spell, you can then tribute off your Dark Grepher, search out your Diabolos and get Diabolos on board. So obviously to do that, not even need to search out your Diabolos, you could search out your Duke Shade. Because to get Grepher on the board, you would have to tribute off your Diabolos. I'll show you at the end anyway, but you tribute off your Diabolos, send it to the graveyard, then normal summon your Harima. Harima would then tribute off Dark Grepher. You could get the draw if you want the draw, or you could search out your Duke Shade, then bring back the Diabolos from your graveyard, because it was already there, and then you've got a Diabolos, a Armand, either a draw, if you've got a virus, even better. If you've got the virus, I wouldn't take the draw, I'd search out the Duke. If you've already got the draw, the virus, sorry. Yeah, if you don't have the virus, I'll take the draw to try and get that, and you've got a nice little board going for you. And then play a couple of one-offs. We've got the one Scam, offered a Tour Guide play, plus it can search you out a Dark Fiend monster from your deck. level 3, of course, but it means it can search you out your Lilith, wherever she is. There you go, so it can search you out your Lilith, which is really, really cool. And then it's also a target for 2 of the viruses, Crush Card and Full Force. And that can come off of Tour Guide. And the best thing with Tour Guide is if you Tour Guide into Scam in this version, if you've already used the Law of Darkness, you can go into Levier, detach Scam, bring back your Lilith to the board, and Lilith will be 2k, not 1k. You've got a Levier on board, you've got a Scam Engrave that's going to search you in the end phase, and then you can tribute off. If you've got the field spell, you could tribute off one of your opponent's cards, or you can tribute off the Levier, so it's really, really important. And then Caius, the Mega Monarch with the field spell, is busted as hell. So if you have the field spell in play, your opponent's monsters become dark. So you tribute off 2 of your tokens or 2 of your monsters, get Caius to the board. You then get to tribute 2 monsters or target 2 cards on the field and banish them. So if you target 2 monsters, you banish them. Because they were both dark, you get to inflict 1,000 damage for each of them. And then, if it's a dark monster that you banish, which you did, your opponent has to remove the same cards with the name, all the cards with the name from the hand, main deck, and extra deck, and graveyard. So you literally, for example, if you've got a masterpiece that's, well, masterpiece is a bad example because it will have 2 immunities. But if you've got, for example, a Metaphor's Electromite on board, and you make this, even though it's a little bit late, you know, just think of like the core cards that are being played at the moment. If you Majesty Maiden from Draco's, you can make this, hit your Majesty Maiden, your opponent loses all their Majesty Maidens. So it's very, very powerful and very, very cool. Then onto the spells. You play Triple Allure. You need to draw power in this deck, and banishing some of this stuff isn't the end of the world. Ideally, you want to be banishing either one of your extra Diaboloses, which is why we play 3, or you want to banish your level 3s, because you can bring them back with Levier. Next up, Triple Enemy Controller. Really, really cool card in this deck, because with the field spell in play, you can tribute one of your opponent's monsters and then take control of another one of your opponent's monsters. So you do a 2-card switch, which is really, really cool. Speaking of which, we played 2 of the field spell and 1 terraforming to search it. So we've got 3 Arama that are going to search it anyway. 3 may get a little bit too cloggy. So the reason we've got the terraforming in there as well, you could bump it up to 2 if you want, but it can become dead. You want to try and preserve your Arimas if you can. Obviously, once you've done it once, as long as they don't clear off your field spell, you're good to go. You could bump Lair up to 3, but then it does become a little bit too cloggy. But again, it comes down to your personal playstyle as to whether or not you'd want to run those ratios. The 1 Monster Reborn, the 1 Foolish Barrel, and the 1 Rhoda for your Dark Grepher. And then, just because this pile's getting big, we'll move on to the traps, which we play nice and heavy. We've got 2 back to the front because they're searchable. Can bring back any of your monsters that are then usable for any of your virus spells. For the Mirror Forces, I've got 1 of each, 1 Storming and 1 Mirror Force. So these are 2 of the best ones in my opinion for right now. You don't have to play these. I just think they're incredibly powerful when used correctly. Triple Torrential Tribute, because you can search these out. And the best way this works is your opponent normal summons a monster. If you haven't got the field spell, of course, you activate Torrential Tribute. You then chain one of your viruses, tributing off your monster, hitting your opponent's hand and then any of their draws, depending on what you're tributing off. Clear their board with Torrential Tribute, and then if you've got a Diabolos in hand or deck, you then special summon him off as well. So after you've basically wiped your opponent's board, you've put them under a virus, and then you get a Diabolos on board. So it's a 3-step plan that's absolutely wiped the board and gone from there. And again, because it's a normal trait, it's searchable. So if you don't open up either of these, you can reveal 3 of the same, because Lilith doesn't state they have to be different names, and then you're going to definitely get a Torrential Tribute, and your opponent has to kind of play around that. We've got 1 of each of the virus, so 1 Deck Devi, 1 Crush Card, 1 Full Force, 1 Eradicator, and 1 Grinning Grave. Now, when it comes to the viruses, I personally say, adapt it to the way you want to play them. Adapt it to what you know you're going to be playing in the meta, what you're going to be playing against. I say definitely always play Eradicator, because it will always be powerful, and knocking out your opponent's spells and traps can win you a game hands down. Crush Card, because what you've got to remember is the tokens are targets. The tokens are perfect targets, so you're going to have loads of cards that are going to be 1,000 or less attack. So Crush Card is definitely a good one to be playing. Deck Devi is between Deck Devi and Full Force and the grinning of what ratios you want to play. If you think in this meta at this moment in time cards are going to have more less defense, then you bump up your Full Force. If you think they're going to have less attack, you bump up your Deck Devi. And then your Grave is just a nice little one that if you're going to hit off your bigger monsters, you can affect your opponent's monster route for the next 3 turns. So Grinning Grave can be very, very powerful as well. And then it's just whether you want to play 2 Deck Devi or 2 Full Force, or just kind of what ratios you want to play with those. And mix them around yourself to kind of work it as best to your playing style, basically. You can also bump up the crush cards as well if you want to be more consistent with those. So it really does come down entirely up to you on your playstyles with your viruses. But like I said, in this build, we've got one of each just to kind of show you that they can run all of them, and they can use and abuse every single one of them. Now onto the extra deck. So we'll start with the links. We've got the one Saruja Skuldred, we've got the one Borolo Dragon, we've got the one Deco Talker, and then we've got your Master King Archfiend, because he is basically your generic link 2 until we get the Dark one, which comes out next set, so Cybernetic Horizon after Flood. Saruja could be very, very good as well, getting some bricks out your hand. Then we've got Proxy Dragon and Link Spider. These can get rid of the tokens should you want to and you don't have the viruses. And then, again, if you've got the field spell in play, these then become dark anyway. So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking out a token to move this up one to clear out a main monster zone. This then becomes the same crush card target as the token. You can then make Proxy Dragon to clear 2 more off. So you've got the abilities to move into Saruja as well. So keep your eyes out for those. For our lower level XYZs, we've got the one Acid, because when the field spell's on play, he's a 3k dark, so he can be used with all of the viruses except Crush Card. Levier, like I said, your Allurian, you can bring back your level 3s and stuff like that, even level 4, so your Allures aren't that big of a deal. Breaksword, because again, you can use his effect, pop one card you don't need anymore, and then use him as a virus target, so he can be a 2-for-1 pop. Then we've got for our rank 4s, we've got the one Abyss Dweller, the one at Baguska, and the one at Tornado Dragon. Probably the 3 staple cards of rank 4s at this moment in time. All incredibly powerful, all very, very useful. And then, like I said, don't worry about their attributes, because as soon as they get changed, once their use on the board has become null and void, you hit them with one of your viruses and off they go. For the rank 8s, we've got Alzi, the Sylvian High Protector, just a personal rank 8 choice of mine. But the staple rank 8 choices are number 38, Harbinger, Dragon Titanic Galaxy, and my personal choice is Heretic Sun, Dragon Overlord Heliopis. There's no reason in playing a pure Diabolos build without playing this guy, because yeah, it's a little bit harder because you need to use 2 Diaboloses, but the best thing is, if you make 2 Diaboloses, you detach one, tribute one of your opponent's monsters if you've got the field spell in play, which is awesome. Tribute one of your monsters, which is very, very important. Pop in 2 of your opponent's cards, and then you get to revive the Diabolos, because the effect specifically reads, once per turn you detach one material from this card, tribute any number of monsters from your hand and or your side of the field at minimum 1, then destroy an equal number of cards on the field. So, if you think your opponent's got mirror forces or anything like that, you go, cool, with the field spell in play, you tribute your opponent's monster, you tribute one of your monsters so you can get the Diabolos back. You then get to pop 2 of your opponent's back row, you're bringing Diabolos back, you've got 6k on board already, and then during the end phase, because you've tributed 2 monsters, you're going to get 2 more tokens. So it's quite easy to fill your board up with those. Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. A very, very powerful kind of deck. Not going to be meta-defining, maybe the engine might be seeing quite a bit of play and a bit of use, but that's kind of down to you. Anyway, I'll quickly take you through the combo. So you've got Dark Grepher, you're going to need that, and then you're going to need that. So the best case scenario is this is your opening hand of 3 cards, because then you go Dark Grepher's effect, get rid of Diabolos as a special summon, normal summon this guy, use this guy's effect to pop your Grepher. Now, we're going to shuffle this up just for a random draw. Just to kind of show you, it really doesn't matter what you plus off of it, but this would just extend your board further. This is just a small combo, 3-card combo. If you get a virus on board, then you're in a better position. Now, if we hadn't discarded the Diabolos, obviously you wouldn't get the special summon of Grepher, so it's not worth searching the Diabolos, but if you wanted to, you could pop this, search the Diabolos, and special summon the search, and leave that Diabolos in grave. But for this one, because we haven't got a virus, I'm going to use his effect, tribute off Grepher to draw 1 card. Well, we won't count that as a monster reborn anyway, that would help extend a little bit further. But then we get to bring back our Diabolos and our board like that, just from those 3 cards. So it's quite a nice little, just a very, very simple triangle on that one. And then if this was our opening hand, we would have had 2 more cards anyway. So if any of those are a virus, we would have been in the plus. And then this is just a plus card extra anyway. So very, very short, very, very sweet, very, very simple. And then like I said about the Heretic Sun Dragon kind of combo as well. It's a very fun deck, and I hope you guys all went to like your locals this weekend and played with the deck events, because they were probably beneficial and very, very fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till Thursday, guys, where I will be bringing you either a different variant of this if you'd like it. So if you do want a different variant, put it in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see what else we can bring you. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until Thursday, guys, see ya.